All right, good afternoon, everyone. Let's go ahead and walk through our work session agenda. We tied a record tonight with 2 members present. We've never had just one. We're trying to get closer. We'll start with payment of bills and minutes, of course, Monday night. Then we'll move to resolution number 816324, approving an alcohol license for JBM Hoover LLC. Ms. Wilkerson, anything to report on this license? Yeah.
Oh, no, the police and the city attorney have no issues.
Very good. Any questions from the members, either of the 2 members on that item? Seeing none, here you go. Also, a resolution for alcohol license for HQ Hoover.
No issues on that as well.
Very good. Mr. Middlebrooks, any questions? No. Number 5, we've got Dustin and Jennifer here for a resolution to amend the budget for fleet management, maintenance and repair.
All right. Good evening, council. This is a requesting to amend fleet management, fuel, and maintenance operating budget by $400,000. This is due to my 2024 budget request and increasing, and my operating did not get approved. We're trying to be conservative and decide to revisit this at mid-year, and we didn't get to revisit it yet.
Ms. Cornett, this also includes some for Pelham too, correct?
It does. Those costs are difficult to forecast because we're not really in control of, when parts need to be used for repairs for Pelham,
But they're fully reimbursable.
yes, 100% reimbursable with a little bit of margin on top. I guess what's important to note is that the forecasted expenditures for fuel and parts included this 400 originally and didn't get approved last time, but it really was a need. And I think our practice has been to come back and look at budget amendments mid-year, and we haven't done that. So
Sure.
we're trying to be conservative with the ask. There are additional revenues in our public utility license revenue line that are coming in above budget. So this would be something that would not impact the bottom line, the excess that we would have for the year for that reason.
Very good. Any other questions for either of the 2 individuals? Very good, thank y'all. Ms. Cornett, item number 6 is resolution amending the budget for turf fields.
Yes. And I think GHAD may want to provide some color on this project.
Okay.
Good evening. We ran into some issues with the soil at some of our fields. And what we decided at that time to do to keep the project moving is to hold back one field at State Park and utilize that funding for the soil stabilization. So we had soil stabilization at East, Central. So those created a couple of issues for us. Now we have soil stabilization at Veterans or Span Park, and that's one field. So we want to complete this project. To complete that project, we need a budget amendment to cover all these change orders that we had and take care of that.
So the soil stabilization was something that do not uncover until you pull back the soil and try to put in those turf fields. So that was an unknown thing at the time the original project was approved. On the flip side, we have been conservatively putting aside amounts for turf replacement at the Met Complex every year, and so we do have funds that have already been appropriated for that we'd like to use to be able to complete this project. So again, not additional funds required from the city, just using some of the committed funds already to turf replacement to finish out the project.
Okay.
There's also an additional cost on there, I think, on the budget amendment that includes city schools reimbursement for additional work that was added onto the turf project. So the budget amendment is for more. The 1.3 includes the schools piece
At that
of their
time,
costs.
yes, there was the agreement with the schools we are committed to do 2 baseball fields. And then they decided they want to do softball fields, attach it to the project, and they would pay for it. However, at that time, we only had $9 million. So what happened is, we allocated the funding to take care of the schools. Once they pay us back, that funding should go back into the project.
So total cost for the city is 9.6.
That's correct.
Any questions, Dr. Rodriguez? Very good, thank you.
Yes.
Item 7, Chief Benton. Resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement, or an amendment to the beneficiary agreement with Jefferson County Commission.
Thank you, Council, Mr. President. If you remember, 2 or 3 months ago, we had a rescue truck that was donated by Jefferson County. And that truck was designated to go somewhere else, and they gave us that truck and switched it out. The company, Witt O'Brien, who manages that process for Jefferson County, was unaware, and so they just need this agreement to be updated. Doesn't cost the city anything. It doesn't re-obligate the city for anything other than what we've already done. It's just really a housekeeping issue on their end.
Okay. Any questions for Chief Benton? Very good, sir, thank you. Chief Durzis and Exo Fountain are here for item number 8, resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Paladin drones.
Thank you. We've got several drones. This is a little bit different situation. It's a 1-year lease, $49,000 with the opportunity to renew 2 additional. And I'm gonna let Kenny talk about the specifics, but in essence, it's a drone. It's got a hangar. It'd be something like if we want to put a hangar, let's say on top of City Hall. Something takes place in the middle of the night. You want to deploy. So it takes an officer coming here to pick up a drone, especially at night, one with a freezer. It's going to be a larger piece of equipment. You're able to, you can be laying in bed, wake up, and deploy it within a couple of minutes from at least 200 or 300 miles away if you were. It's got a 3-mile radius. You deploy it, do whatever the detail is. It comes back, like the Batcave, reopens, lands, the docking station, and recharges. Again, I could see if this was something that was very valid, and we utilized it with as many fire stations that we have around the city, that they could be deployed at a fire station, maybe the one out towards the Met for all the situations that we have in that area. So again, it's something technology that we have never tried before, and I'd like to use it this year. The money will come out of the federal inmate fund. Okay.
Good evening. So for the $49,000, what we're getting, just so you know, is we're getting a DJI M30T drone with FLIR. If we were to buy that, it'd be $16,000. The DJI dock, if we were to buy that, it'd be $15,000. And then the software is proprietary. So when a call goes out, it sends a alert to the pilots, and the pilots will be sitting at their computer or sign in, and if they hit accept, then it allows them to start flying the drone. It leaves the hangar, goes to the call, and comes back, and it's like they can do it from their house over on computer. It's amazing stuff. It's all via internet. So, insurance, yes. So, along with this, it also comes with a $2 million liability per incident policy. So they are insuring it. If there's an issue with the drone, we don't pay for maintenance or anything like that. They pay for it. They replace the batteries as needed. So essentially, it's a $49,000 plug and play. They take care of everything, software and all.
You say a 3-mile radius from its home base?
3 miles, yes, sir.
We'll come visit you.
I live within 3 miles of here, that's what worries me.
Yes, sir. 3 mile radius.
I need to move.
Yes, sir. The company also takes care of all the FAA license and waivers and so forth. They do everything for us. So all we really do, like I said, is we just, when we get the call and it comes up on the screen, the pilots just fly. It's neat stuff.
Any questions on that item? Inmate funds, I heard.
Yes, sir, inmate funds.
Very good. Thank you. Item number 9 is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Film Birmingham. Posey Joseph.
Good evening, mine is Hoover's bad, unfortunately. So a little bit of background, in May of 2022, the city implemented a film permit application for the city. We didn't have such in place before. We're getting more requests to shoot specifically on private property by film organizations. So we felt it was best to form a film permit. During that process, we contacted Film Birmingham, and they're an entity that basically serves as the film commission for the greater Birmingham area, a liaison between cities and film production companies. We just basically relied on them, their expertise, to get some input as we were forming our film permit. So that was in May of 2022. In April of this year, Film Birmingham reached out to us asking that informing us that they had received funding from the Community Foundation of Greater Birmingham. And they specifically said that the purpose of it is to work on regional film analysis and policy recommendations throughout Jefferson County. So it's their belief that the more folks that come to Birmingham and the Birmingham areas to film, the greater economic development, the more exposure, of course, more people want to come. So basically a cycle. They asked that we meet with their team. Part of their team includes former Hoover Mayor Tony Patelis is a part of that. They met with Member Cato, Debbie Carrier was there, April Danielson was there. I was not there, but I'm sure it was a very robust meeting. As a result of that, we took a look at the agreement, but what we felt is that it did not have enough teeth in it. It was more general. We wanted to make sure that folks that saw this, and even if we agreed to it, knew that it did not supersede nor negate our city film permit. And so we asked our city attorneys to add language to that agreement as such, to let them know we're in agreement with this, basically just saying we support the efforts to do this analysis and things like that. However, if anything goes further than this, we still require companies to sign our film permit. So we added that language. Film Birmingham folks agreed with that language, and they're now asking that Mayor Cato sign it. And so, of course, we wanted to bring it to you. I checked with them today because this is something that they're wanting several communities throughout the metro to sign. So far, they have 9 agreements that they have signed, so 9 cities that are already on board, about 7 more lined up. And so we are just one that they want to add to that. My last and final note is that there is no monetary commitment that we have to make if this is indeed agreed to. Just asking that the mayor sign it as a good faith effort.
Very good. Great explanation. Any questions for Ms. Posey Joseph? Good. Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
Item number 10, the last item on the consent agenda, is a resolution accepting an award from RPC of Greater Birmingham.
Yes, sir. So our team of economic development was excited to partner with Parks and Rec to apply for a grant with Regional Planning Commission of Greater Birmingham. So I worked with Ryan Cavender, Jordan Yarborough, and myself worked with this project, and excited to announce we were awarded a $10,000 grant for some improvements at Blue Ridge Park next to Shades Mountain Elementary. So I'm going to get Ryan to explain what the money's going to go towards. The item you have before you on the agenda is just to authorize the grant agreement, and it also includes the appropriate budget amendment since we're bringing in the money. So Ryan's going to explain what the money's going to go towards.
Yeah, so we got 3 pieces of this puzzle. The first is invasive species removal from the acreage there at Blue Ridge Park. The second piece is trail work and debris removal. Those trails have kind of been underused over the last several years. There's been some storm damage, and so essentially removing dangerous situations, for anybody who would be visiting the park. That's another $3,500, and then there's $3,150 in the budget for signs. That includes trailhead signs, wayfinding signs, and some educational signage to essentially create an outdoor classroom out there. So that's the plan.
Very nice. $10,000 grant, I think I see.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Any questions for either two gentlemen?
I just would like to add, this is an advance funded grant, so we will receive the money, and then there is no city commitment. So we're going to just spend the grant money, and we would like permission to receive it and spend it.
Easy enough. Any other questions? Thank you all. All right, we'd like to welcome back Robert Mack. After a long hiatus, he is back to talk to us about a number of items, many weed and vegetation nuisances, beginning with item number 11 at 1999 Montgomery Highway. Mr. Mack.
Yes, sir. We're gonna have 6 public nuisance cases on Monday, and I'll have the photos, of course, that day. And looks like there's all gonna be good or bad, however you wanna say it, it's still out there. So, and then we have 3 abatements. This will be the second hearing, and so we'll be able to cut grass, right after that on the 3, Wood Meadow Circle, Tyler Road, and Mona Ridge Drive. And we'll have photos for you on all those on Monday.
Okay, so just to recap, an abatement on 2054 Wood Meadow Circle,
Yes, sir.
2337 Tyler Road,
Yes.
3575 Lorna Ridge Drive.
Yes, those will all be abatement hearings, second hearing, and we'll cut right after that.
And then, of course, on the first 6, 1999 Montgomery Highway, 2125 Tyler Lane, 2400 Savoy, 3033 Lorna, 3469 Birch Tree, and 5303 Parkside Circle is certainly just declaring.
Yes, I'll be declaring it a public nuisance.
Between those 9, let's pray that we get some good compliance over the weekend.
Yes, hopefully somebody will get busy, so.
Very good. Councilor Middlebrooks, any questions on any of those 9 addresses? All right. Mr. Mack, we also have ordinance 24-2646 that we will consider voting on. It's a rezoning of property at 2849 Berkeley.
Yeah, 2152 Larchmont.
The next one is 29. I've got it, item number 20. Okay, rezoning 2849.
I don't know. I apologize, I'm just
That's
here for
fine.
the weeds on that.
Okay, yeah, no problem. We're back in things. We reviewed each of these at the last work session prior to the meeting, that's right. These are all second readings, rezoning of recently annexed properties at the addresses listed. These were all rather straightforward. Dr. Middlebrooks, do you have any questions about any of those? No, sir. All right, that's items 21 through 27. We will potentially vote on Monday night. Then we'll have 2 first readings, a resolution for the abatement at 2152 Larchmont.
Yes, sir, that will be the first reading for the abatement.
Correct.
And that one unfortunately will probably stay with us.
Okay,
We have cut that one once already.
that's right. And then finally, Ms. Cornett, we will have a first reading for an ordinance, our standard 10%, the final 10% approval of the budget for the remainder of this year.
Yes, so in keeping with standard practice, 90% of the budget is approved
Right.
beginning of the year, and so this is the remaining 10% to be released so that we can spend the remaining 10% in the last 10% of the year.
Very good. That will be a first reading for a potential vote at the first meeting in August. Any questions on that item? Very good. That brings us to the end of a long but repetitive agenda. We will consider each of these items on Monday night. Thank you all for your attendance. We're adjourned.